Hey guys, it's Kate. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the gym. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kate. I'm a bodybuilder, mom, nurse, fitness fanatic. This is my garage gym. If you want to check out more details about it, go see my last video. I obviously have to update it. We've got some new pieces. But I just kind of wanted to talk about today kind of how I got here, my 10-year journey in bodybuilding. But it's also leg day, so let's just do some deadlifts. So just warming up into 3 sets of 5 on deadlifts. Last week I did 3 sets of 6. Failed on the first one. So we'll see what I get up to today. But just kind of talking about my journey, it's been about 10, 11 years since I've been like weightlifting, bodybuilding for about 7 to 8. And then there's like a powerlifting blip right in the middle of that. And then now full-blown bodybuilding. So my journey started as any other girl's bodybuilding journey. I met a boy who was not my husband. And he got me into the weight section at my college gym when I was first going through college at the rec center. And that made me kind of comfortable getting into the weight section as a girl, which at the time, not a lot of girls were in the weight section. It wasn't like a thing. It was back in like 2014, 2015. And then when I met my husband, shortly after that, he was training for his first bodybuilding competition. I didn't really understand bodybuilding at the time, but I was interested in bodybuilding. I was interested in him. And since he was training all the time, we couldn't really go on dates. And so he was like, well, just come to the gym with me. So I started going to the gym a lot. He taught me how to squat, maybe my first program. I remember writing it down in my bodybuilding.com journal and just learning and slowly progressing that way. I never really got serious about it until I was in the middle of my prereqs for nursing school, getting ready for our wedding. And I had a friend who had just done a bikini competition and she looked fabulous. I am a performance major for my first degree, so I always loved being on the stage and I knew I wanted to get back up there somehow. And I felt like this was like a really good mesh of fitness and stage performance. So I asked her who her coach was and started coaching with her. I always have to wear a t-shirt or something with my belts because otherwise it just cuts right into my ribs and then I get this nice line right here. So I'm gonna sweat while I have my belt on for a while. So, got the new coach, first coach ever, just wanted to see how it would work out. So I started training with her in the spring of 2016 with the plan to cut down for my wedding, which was in December of 2016, as like a mini cut to see how I would look in a full cut for the spring of 2017 shows. So when I started with her, I was about like 160, 165 pounds and like a size 10 dress. And I know this because when I tried on my wedding dress, I tried on a size 10. I bought a size 8. And then by the time I got to my wedding, on my wedding day, we had tailored it down to a size 2. So big difference, big change. And we knew that my body could handle it. I went from like 160 to 130, I think, at my wedding. So did a full cut into the spring of 2017 for the Empire Classic, which was in Spokane, Washington. And at the time, the bikini was all like this posing. It was a very different style of posing, different style of suits. And I actually went into that show for figure. I wanted to do figure really bad. But my coach was like, we could probably cross into bikini as well. So I also entered into the bikini side as well. So my first competition was in April of 2017, and I did figure and bikini. I cannot remember what class I was in. I got 5th in figure, and that's where I got my little bronze lady. She's a little bit of a disaster right now. She's kind of broken down over a couple of years of moves and moving around. She's not living her best life anymore, but she stays up there. So I got 5th in figure, and I was really disappointed because I got 5th in figure out of 5 girls. So I felt like I could do better because I'm highly competitive, especially with myself. Bikini, I didn't even place, I think, top 10. At the time, I had just done open, and I want to say there was like 26 girls in open, and I got 14th or 15th, something like that. I completely blocked out the placing in my head. So I was really disappointed. The day of the show was not good for me. I was super sick. I don't think the coach that I had knew how to properly peak me. And so my food intake was not good that week. Water dehydration was not good. And then the night before the show, she had me drink half a bottle of red wine to dry me out some more. What did it do? It made me sicker than all hell that morning, and which is, you know, super fun when you're covered in a spray tan in a white hotel room and having a lot of diarrhea and vomiting. Like, it's just not, it was not the best of show days, especially for my first show. But I did learn a lot from it and decided, let's try something else. So at the time, didn't know what reverse dieting was, didn't reverse diet out of it well. And then I hopped right into nursing school. So it kind of just all fell on the back burner. So that's part 1 of how I got into bodybuilding. Not probably the best way to do it, but at least I did it, and I got my foot in the door, and I caught the bug, I got the itch. And now we're deadlifting 175. So let's do some working sets.
Staring down the barrel, waiting for the final gates to open to a new tomorrow, moving with the motion, following the light that sets me
So next up on the lift list, we're going to be doing leg press, narrow stance. So toes close together and lower on the platform to really hit the quads. I have really good hamstrings, but I don't have like really good quads, and which is really rare for bikini girls. Like, you don't really want to work your quads. However, I need more quads so that in the back, when I do my back pose, you can kind of see like the quad swoop in the front, and it really makes your legs look like proportionally large. But right now I just don't have a lot of quad. So I'm gonna hit the quad with that, and then we'll also switch over to the leg extension in a little bit. So I love this leg press. We're trying to sell it to get a pendulum, but I will only ever use like the 45 degree. I won't use like the weird cable-y one in the gyms, because 1, I can't get my knees back far enough, and 2, there's just not enough weight. This is like 295 plus all the junk that's on the back. It's kind of our catch-all. It's probably like an extra 5 or 10 pounds up there. I don't even count that. I just, the platform's 90, we go with it that way. Okay. Going for 4 sets. Nice and low, keeping a narrow squat, not like feet together, but just like a narrow, and then pushing through the balls of my feet and my toes instead of my heels. Okay. I did try a pendulum when we were in Alpha Land and was quickly humbled. The girl I was setting in on was doing like 3 plates. I was like, okay, we're just gonna try it on one. I got to the bottom and couldn't get back up. So I did like 25 pounds and we would just switch out for the 3 plates. And I was like, oh, I want to grow up and be like you. So hopefully we can get a pendulum in here and really get these things cooking. 2019, we built the garage gym, doing a lot of Olympic lifting because that's what we had. We had a rack, we had a bar, and we had plates. So deadlift, squats, bench press, really easy to do in the gym. I met up with a girl who I actually had tutored in anatomy and physiology. She's a trainer in town, and she's a powerlifter, and she would come over and lift with us in the gym as we were slowly building it together. She's like, hey, you really should do like powerlifting. And I was like, I don't know. COVID hits. Now powerlifting sounded more of a good idea because the bodybuilding competitions were all like shut down, or you had to wear a mask on stage, and it was just a lot of complicated pieces to it. And I was like, you know what, I can definitely prepare for powerlifting while being isolated and working as a nurse through COVID. So started doing powerlifting, got pregnant in the middle of 2020, and then I had my son in April of 21. I wasn't able to lift most of my pregnancy due to health reasons, and so I didn't really get back into powerlift training until the fall of 2021, and that's when I started using the Juggernaut AI app to really help with programming, because neither myself nor my husband really knew how to program for a powerlift meet. And like I said, I'm a goal-driven person, so I will have either like a show date or a meet date in mind, and then that'll drive me to keep going. Like, I don't just lift for funsies. Well, I mean, I do. I enjoy doing it. But I rather have like a goal set. So decided to do a local meet in the summer of 22. And so I went into that meet with no expectations, just wanted to do it for fun, just for shits and giggles. It was hotter than hell. It was in like this metal barn gym. It was like 110 degrees. Did the meet. I ended up placing 3rd. I don't remember how many people were there, but I got a little bronze medal. I was very proud of it. PR'd all my weights because I was like, hey, let's just keep going up. Did 9 for 9 on all my lifts. And then that was the end of my powerlifting story. Did the powerlifting meet in July of 22. Then I decided, powerlifting, you know, it's fun and all, but I really missed the stage. COVID was kind of winding down. Bodybuilding shows were kind of getting back to normal. Figured, let's try that. Let's get into the next movement. My programming right now, I'm supposed to be doing front lunges, but my balance right now, because I have a weak knee and some like pain in my lower back, I just can't get all the way up on like one side without like tipping over. So I'm gonna try cable step-ups. I saw a girl doing them on Instagram the other day, and I was like, that is a brilliant way to do step-ups and keeping in line in a nice smooth movement. So it'll be stepping up onto that front leg, which is what I want, is the quads while holding onto the cables. So I need to find handles. Okay, so now we're caught up through my powerlifting blip. Did that, and that was in the summer of 2022. So when I decided to go back on stage, I knew I wanted to have a coach who was currently competing, had competitors on her roster. I wanted to do an online coach because I already know how to lift. I don't really necessarily need to go into a gym with a trainer by my side. I just needed someone who could do my programming and my macros for me. I'm very much so like, give it to me, I will follow it to a T. Like, I'm paying for it, I'm gonna do it. So that's when I hired my coach, Madison Bayless. I'll link her down in the description box below. I absolutely loved her. I've been following her for a couple years on Instagram already, and then she opened up some spots on her roster, and I decided, hey, let's just go for it. Told her I wanted to do another competition, but I had just finished having a baby. I had just finished powerlifting. I wasn't really in the best shape to start a prep. I was sitting at about 160 pounds again. So I knew I had a lot to lose, and I didn't know what was really underneath the baby weight. So we decided to do a full recomp before we even decided to do a prep. My husband and I were planning on going to Barbados the following October. So I said, hey, let's recomp and then cut down into Barbados as like a mini cut, similar to what I did with my wedding with my first trainer, just to kind of gauge where my muscle was at and how much fat I'd have to lose throughout like a full prep. So over the course of the next year, we did a full recomp, really tuned in my macros, tuned in my cardio. And then I think when I went to Barbados, I was around 135 pounds, and we could really start to see like the lines in the definition and how my body was responding to these different macro changes. So that was in October of 23, so just last October. And I said, let's do it, let's go full force, let's prep. There are 3 shows back to back in April near me. One the second week of April, 3rd week, 4th week of April, just back to back to back. And I figured, hey, if I'm already gonna be lean and I'm already gonna be peaking, let's just do them all in one go. Retrospect, not the best idea. So we decided that January 1st, we would start a prep, 16-week prep into my first show. Okay, next thing up on the lift list today. I'm super excited. We have new machines from Prime Fitness. My husband got very lucky and was in talks with them, and we got them at a good price, and they're brand new, never been used. So we have a seated row as well as a leg extension / prone leg curl. I did the prone curl the other day, loved it. Did seated row the other day, loved it. Today it's time for leg extension. And I'm gonna be supersetting the leg extension with sissy squats, which we kind of rigged up on my little squat rack over here. And then my current coach, with her new training, there's a couple new things thrown in like FST7, and her favorite thing in my program is BFR. So we're gonna be doing some blood flow restrictive training while supersetting leg extension with the sissy squats, really targeting my quads to make sure that all the blood flow is going straight into that muscle and really pumping it up and getting that good strength. So it's gonna be low weight, high reps, low blood to my brain. Got to get strapped in first. One thing I do like about the BFI band, instant butt. A little weird shaped butt, but it's my butt anyways. Now I get to hobble over here. Oh my God. Ow. The thing with the BFR too is you just leave the bands on for all your sets. So it'll get harder and harder as you go. But the sissy squats are already hard because I haven't done them in a very long time. Like I said, my quads are not the strongest, so I definitely want to hit them the hardest. And so I'll push myself to grow them. No pain, no gain, they say. There's pain. There better be some gain in there because it hurts. They're swollen. Got a nice pump. I can feel it. It's very tight. Very tight. Next, we're gonna move into adductors. Before I move into that, go through my prep just very fast. I'll probably do a whole video just on this prep alone. So I did a 16-week cut from January 1st through my first show, which was April 11th, 12th? Can't remember. My first show was Big Sky Championships in Missoula, Montana. I did novice and open. I placed 4th in novice and 5th in open, which was very exciting. That was kind of like my warm-up show. It had been 7 years since I've done a show. Everything was new, posing's new. The stage was reversed. Last time I walked on from the left side, this time walking on from the right side. It was just a whole new thing for me. So it was kind of like a nice warm-up show. We figured out how to do the pump backstage a little bit better, and then got good judge feedback to just come in fuller for the next show, which was the following weekend. That was Empire Classic in Spokane, Washington. Did the Empire Classic, also did novice and open there, placed 4th in novice, and I did not place top 5. I was 6th in the open by 2 points, which was a little discouraging, but hey, I still got a crown from there. We decided then, it was kind of like yes or no whether or not we were going to do Emerald Cup in Federal Way, Washington, because it's one of the biggest shows in the Pacific Northwest. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to do it because I don't think I have a chance of placing. Will it be a waste of time, money, etc.? My coach was like, you're already lean. We've already peaked twice. We've gotten good feedback from the judges. I think we can do another really good peak and come in even fuller for the 3rd show. And I said, okay, whatever, let's just do it. So I signed up for it. And get there, and it was a lot more chill that 3rd show just because I went in with no expectations. I didn't think I was going to place. It was a large show. They actually ended up making a whole nother class for bikini novice because there were so many girls that came that they weren't expecting to come. And I ended up placing 4th in novice again, reigning 4th champion in novice. And again, I got 6th in the open, but this time by 1 point. So I knew it was a very stacked class, and I felt like I was doing even better than the week before, and the best thing you can do is just compete against yourself. And every week I was getting better and better and better, in my opinion, in my physique. I was also going up against like the same girls every week because it's all in the same area, so our placings kind of stayed pretty much the same. And after that, I was going to do another show like the first week of June. Was like the plan, like take 6 weeks. But at Emerald, that final show, the judges' feedback was you need more tissue. You just need more shoulders, a little bit more X-frame, had a nice waist, and I needed more fuller glutes, like more muscle. Like I had good fullness, good stage presence, like my makeup, my hair, suit, all of that was like really, really good. And my walk and my posing was very comfortable. Again, I'm very comfortable on the stage, so that's not really much of a surprise to me. But I needed to get more muscle, and I wasn't going to be able to do that in 6 weeks. So not going to do the June show and decided just to reverse diet. Started my reverse diet, and I love my coach. Madison is absolutely fabulous. I was with her for 2 whole years. She helped me recomp, prep, peak through all 3 of these shows, but she's in Texas. And I really wanted someone closer to home, in person, who purely does competitors. Madison does lifestyle and competitors, more lifestyle than competitors, and she does a great job at both. I just wanted someone who was fully competitors, was gonna be at the shows with me, and who I could meet in person for posing practice, check-ins, things like that. So I did leave Madison at the beginning of July and started with a local competition prep team. It's also really nice to have a team because I can shoot off ideas with them. If I ever wanted to work out with them, I could call them and text them. We have a good support on Instagram and Facebook. And I've been with them for 2 months now. So this is my new coach's training and refeeding. And I think we've got me back to like a really nice maintenance. We've been at the same macros for about 4 weeks. This is my 2nd training block with her, and I will be doing my 2nd check-in with her tomorrow. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm staying within 10 pounds of show weight, which we want to continue to do, 10 to 15 pounds of show weight, and I have no show date set. So right now we're just focusing on building the muscle and eating all the good foods and making sure digestion's doing well and muscle building is doing well. So I'll talk a little bit more about what my goals are after I do this adductor set. Now, this is another piece that we picked up during the Amazon Prime Day sale. It is plate loaded. It's covered in junk right now, so let's clean it off. Need to double check that it's adductors and not abductors, because I have done that before and it was not fun when I found out that I did the wrong exercise. Add. So you add your legs back to your body. So adductors. So since it is plate loaded at the bottom of the rep, well, when you're out, it's pretty light, and then at the top of the contraction, that's when you really feel it. So I can never do more than like a plate plus a quarter, if that, on this one. I think last time I did a plate and 10, so 55 pounds in addition. Because I just do slow and steady. Make sure you get a nice contraction to get those adductors moving. And probably a little too wide. It's a little fun to get into, though. Nice slow and steady contractions. Really get that the inner thigh. When I was like peak prep, so like right before my third show, I had gotten down all the way to 113 pounds. My knees wouldn't even touch. Like, I had such a thigh gap. My knees wouldn't touch, my butt cheeks wouldn't touch. It was a little too skinny. I'd like to be around like 117, I think, for the next show. So try to get like 3 or 4 pounds of muscle on me. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get like 20 pounds in the next year unless I like go fully enhanced, and I'm just not fully prepared for that. So the leg part of leg day is done. One thing that my coach has added into pretty much every day is core, whether that be in leg raises, crunches, but mostly vacuums. So this one's vacuums, 4 sets for about 30 seconds. Really to kind of make sure that my core stays nice and tight, because in bikini posing, a lot of what you're doing essentially on stage is just holding a vacuum for a really long time without having a rib flare. So if I can get my transverse abdominis nice and tight, then it will be a lot more natural and comfortable on stage than if I was to have to like really suck it in on stage. I'm getting better at the vacuums. I do have to do them lying down, or else I'll get like my traps and my neck involved, and that's kind of defeating the purpose. So it's a lot of just lying down, pushing all the air out, and then
belly button is fine. Little shallow breast. Just hold it.
For me, it's not so much like my core is really sore after doing them. I just can't breathe. My cardio is down significantly from prep when I was doing like 80 minutes a day. I only do like 20 minutes twice a week now. So my cardio is not as high as it once was, which is fine. I don't have the stamina that I used to have. I don't need to be doing the stair mill for 80 minutes a day right now. I'm trying to grow. I don't need the weighted vest on the stair mill anymore, which is nice. If you saw my first video, you know that I needed to wear like at least 10 pounds in a weight vest to even get the stair mill to move. I don't have to do that anymore. This morning I was 123.4. So I think the weight limit on the stair mill is 120 because I moved just fine on level 8 or 9. Nothing too crazy. Okay.
I do that 5.
So, what's next, really? Because we're kind of caught up to where I am now. I'm with my coach now. I'm still getting used to her training style and her coaching style. I'm going to give it a couple more months to see if I really like it. You really want to give a new coach like 6 months to learn your body and how you respond, and then also so that you can get a good relationship with them to understand their training and what they require of their competitors. So work with them for a while. I don't have a show date in mind. I do want to take 6 months to a year of building, and that does not include a prep. So even like the earliest I might do something, there is a show next July. So like July of 25, the Tangi Johnson Classic would be like the earliest. Probably looking more like November. However, we are going to Jamaica in October, and I don't really want to have a prep while I'm on vacation. Like, that's just not going to be a thing. If anything, I would have the show before and then go to vacation. But I also want to be able to like reverse properly. It's going to be a lot of timing things there. So I definitely for sure am looking at spring of 26. Definitely. There's no such thing as taking too long of an off season, in my opinion. Like, if you need time to grow, you need to take the time to grow and not just take a couple months to grow a little bit and then cut, and then grow a little bit and cut. You're never going to get the fullness and the density that the judges, I think, are looking for, at least for me. So that's the plan. Stick with this coach for a couple more months, see if I like it, make sure that it's a good fit, and if it is, we're just going to continue on and build, because the next time that I go to a show, I don't want to go to get a crown, which was my goal this time. I just wanted to come home with a crown, and I came home with 4. Next time, I want to come home with an overall, or at least a first in the class, in an open class. Overall would be awesome. Like, I'm sure that's everyone's goal, but that's going to be my goal. Okay, 2 more sets. So that's my leg day. I get 3 leg days a week. So squats, deadlifts, hip thrusts for the heavy. Like I said, really trying to grow my glutes. And then I do 1 quad day a week. So I have 2 hammy glutes and then 1 quad day. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below if you want to see more of my split or more of my workouts and how I incorporate lifts into our home gym. Be sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I put out videos randomly, but also check out my Instagram at lyricalfitchick, because then you'll see posts every day, stories, little fun little things that I do throughout my life. And my progress as we work up to the next show. Well, thank you all for watching. Please leave a like and comment. See you next time. Bye.
What goes up, comes back down. What goes up, comes around. You're so dumb like this. You're already like this. What goes up, comes back down. And your day will come around. And I don't wanna fix this. You're already like this for good.
1, 2, 3, up.
Ugh.